Hey folks, Viking here. As some of you longtime subscribers know, I do love my jets in Battlefield 3, but there's one jet that I have not spent a lot of time with, especially recently, and that's the F-35. Now, the reason that you guys don't see this aircraft very often is because the F-35 is in fact an inferior aircraft. On the maps where you can find the F-35, it goes up against the Russian Su-35, which just handles so much better. And even an average Su-35 pilot will easily be able to outmaneuver even a good F-35 pilot. Which I think is kind of a shame because this is a unique aircraft with its vertical takeoff capability and its ability to hover, and it can be a lot of fun to use. It's just that if the Russian team even has competent pilots, you're just not going to have a good time, and you're going to spend your entire time in the air just fighting to stay alive, let alone doing any good for your team. Now, it is possible for an F-35 pilot to take on an Su-35 pilot, but you basically have to catch them by surprise or have a lot of help from your team and your wingmen, which in a pub match where I'm usually playing is not really something that you can count on. There may actually be a loadout change that can help you out as an F-35 pilot when you go up against these super flankers. Normally, when I'm flying my jets in Battlefield 3, I have my air radar, which helps out with dogfighting. I have my ECM jammer, which helps me stay in hot zones longer, and I have rocket pods to help my team out on the ground and take out enemy vehicles. That leaves my main cannon free to use for dogfighting, but of course, as I mentioned earlier, the F-35, even after all these patches, still kind of handles like a bus in dogfights. It can't turn as tightly, so the cannon is not always going to be the answer, simply because you cannot get caught in those circling dogfights and win against an Su-35. So this is where I kind of play dirty with my loadout sometimes when I'm flying the F-35. If I can't get caught in those circling dogfights, my goal is going to be to do a lot of damage to those Su-35s before they get within range to dogfight. So I'm actually going to turn on Heatseekers. That's right, Heatseekers, the thing that you have not touched since you unlocked rocket pods. Now, my goal with using Heatseekers on the F-35 is to try to catch the enemy jet pilots unawares. If they're attacking a helicopter or strafing a tank on the ground, I want to lock onto them from maximum distance, get at least one or two missiles off, hopefully damage them, at least get them to run, and from there I can possibly get up behind them, damage, disable, or maybe even destroy them before they have a chance to react. Basically, most pilots aren't going to expect Heatseekers, especially coming from an F-35, and I found that generally it's enough surprise that it actually really helps me get an upper hand against these jets. Now, this kind of dirty Heatseekers trick is not going to save you from decent Su-35 pilots, especially if there's more than one and they're flying together, but I found that it seems to be more useful than trying to run around with rocket pods. The F-35 has a decent main cannon, and if you manage to clear the air of enemy jets, just go ahead and use your cannon to do ground strafing runs, and just use the Heatseekers to kind of try to maintain that air supremacy if you can. All that being said, despite its flaws, the F-35 can be a lot of fun to play simply because it's just so unusual compared to the other jets in Battlefield 3. And if you get into a match where the other team is just kind of being lazy with their jets, and you can either maintain air supremacy or just kind of enjoy a standoff with the enemy jets, you can have a lot of fun running around with the hover and turning your jet into like a floating missile platform and a floating cannon platform for strafing infantry. And that's basically what you guys are going to see for the rest of the video as I fly around some on a couple of different lunch breaks and just have a bit of a good time in this unique jet. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.